Hello, so we are just gonna do, well, I'm gonna do a review of traveling with a 1-year-old. So we just got back from England, maybe like a week ago, and yeah, it was a learning experience. I traveled with him when he was, I don't know, like 8 months, 6 months. It was just to, where was it? It was just to Florida, so like a 5-hour flight, but this was obviously much longer. I think we traveled our flight from LA to London was 10 hours. So that's what we're gonna be talking about right now. Yeah, positives of traveling with a 1-year-old. For starters, first of all, we have a well-behaved 1-year-old, so that helps. But everybody that we kind of like ran into or had interactions with, the other passengers on the plane, the flight attendants, people in the airport, they were all really nice to him. They were nice to us. They interacted with him. And like sometimes when we were kind of like, oh, this is so long, it's like killing us, like he would be standing up. People were like playing peekaboo with him and hide and seek and just like talking to him, and it was distracting him long enough for us to just look at each other and have like a little conversation or something. So that was really nice. Something else that was great, he's not being like amazing right now, but it's getting late. So another thing that was good was we got to board fairly early, you know, like after the first class people, so that was good. Positive of traveling with a 1-year-old is he gets to travel instead of him just only, like, basically this house is like his whole world. So the fact that he got to go to somewhere new and meet his family and just see other places and be in another climate, like that was a whole nother thing for him. He'd never been anywhere that was that cold, so he had to, you know, learn to be okay being bundled up because he had a lot of jackets on, a lot of layers. He got to be around people that weren't from the culture that he's used to seeing every day. So alrighty, so I struggled to come up with positives because it was difficult, not gonna lie. We said I don't even think we said it on the way there, but I think we said it on the way back. We're never gonna do that again. As well behaved as our child was, it's just hard at his age. He doesn't want to sit on your lap. He doesn't want to sit down at all. He wants to be running around, looking at things, talking to people, touching everything. Like that's just the age that he's at right now. So if you don't know, he's 15 months old and he's just super active. And so sitting in a very small confined area was really hard for him for the 10-hour flight. And then it wasn't just one flight. So we had a 10-hour flight that he didn't really sleep too much on. On the way there, he slept maybe 3 hours, and on the way back I want to say he slept even less. But it wasn't just that one flight, so we had 3 flights total, 2 short ones that were like an hour and a half, and then the one long one. So it was really hard. Besides the fact that him being really active, we didn't have a lot of space. So on the way there, we shared 3 seats. So me and my husband both had a seat, and then we had an empty seat. So that gave us a lot of space for Bodhi. He could sit down. I tried to lay down with him, which was the benefit of flying there versus flying back. He still breastfeeds, so I could kind of lay down with him, and that's how we got him to sleep for like 3 or 4 hours of the flight. But on the way back, it was just, we only had 2 seats. So all the seats next to us were full, just us 2. So he was either had to be sitting in our lap, or they did give us this like kind of like baby, like a rocker, like a bouncer, but it was too small for him. He's a pretty big boy, and you know, he had to be strapped into it, and we had to be sitting in our seat. So he was like on his own, and that was never gonna fly. So that didn't work. I mean, breastfeeding, well, if you're still breastfeeding, you know, just being exposed. We initially flying there, we were on a window seat, so like it was kind of like more private. Coming home, if you've been on the big planes, there's 2 seats on the sides and then the middle row, and we were in the middle row. So there was people on both sides, so there was really not a lot of privacy, so that kind of stunk. The time change was really difficult for him. When they were trying to like put everybody to sleep on the plane, it was like time for him like when he's normally awake, and then vice versa. If it was time when he was supposed to be, you know, sleeping, it was times when we needed him to be up and doing stuff. So it was a difficult situation, and we said we weren't going to do it again. If he's younger, like he's gonna de-age or something. If we had been traveling with a younger baby where it was just like ones that you're like a newborn, you know, just holding them, that would have been fine. Or if he's a little bit older and he can sit and color and watch a movie, and like he just has no attention span really right now. So that's that.
It doesn't change the fact that the vacation was very nice, but traveling was super difficult.
Yeah, it was a great trip altogether, but just, yeah, the traveling with a 1-year-old, I wouldn't recommend it. And I think we're gonna do everything to avoid doing that with the next one. Yes. If I could say I would or I would not recommend that, I would definitely not recommend traveling with a 15-month-old. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this. Also, we'll be doing a thing about British Airways because we had a pretty bad experience with British Airways on the way there, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, that's all. Thumbs up if you like this, subscribe, leave comments about your experience traveling with your children, the different ages, what ages that you recommend traveling with, what ages you wouldn't recommend. I already know the 15-month is a not recommend, so. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Ciao.